Hi, I'm Allison Styring. I am a faculty here at Evergreen and I'm an ornithologist. And I'm making this video to just tell you a little bit of information about a summer program that I will be co-teaching with Dan Froelich called Field Ornithology. This year, Field Ornithology is going to be an online class because of the pandemic situation, but there will be lots of opportunities to be outside in the field. And so here's a little bit about the program in case you're curious. It's an 8-credit program and it's running first session of summer at Evergreen. And it will break down as 4 credits of ornithology and 4 credits of avian research methods. And so the program in terms of content will have a variety of elements of ornithology, including textbook readings from, I'm going to share a screen from, mostly from the handbook of bird biology. And let me see if I can share that here. So I'm going to switch to that. This is one of the standard textbooks in ornithology. Each week we will have a set of about 50 to 60 pages to read from this textbook. It is available as an ebook through Evergreen's library, so you can have free online access to it through the library. And the chapters we'll be looking at will be focusing on avian diversity and taxonomy, the anatomy of birds, how birds are adapted to flight, feathers, bird vocalizations, and the annual cycles of birds. So that's going to be our textbook piece. We'll also be gaining skills in bird identification, and we'll be using eBird as the primary mode where we'll be submitting observations. You'll also be keeping a field journal with specific types of data that you collect when you make your bird observations. And there will be a handout. There's a handout actually on my WordPress site that provides you with that kind of information that you need to enter for a field journal. You'll also be entering that information on eBird and submitting either sounds or images of birds you observe. They don't have to be good. You don't have to have a high quality recorder or a fancy camera to do it. It's something you should be able to get enough information with a cell phone, with a smartphone. So that's our bird identification piece. And then there's going to be another piece where you learn, each week we will focus our attention on some of the most commonly used field methods that people deploy when they're studying birds. This includes point counts. There's a variety of different kinds of bird point counts. The use of acoustic recording devices in the field, observation of bird behavior, and some other field methods that are commonly used. And so we will be learning a new field method, and then you'll be going out in the field and practicing that field method, collecting a small data set and generating some graphs and tables of the information you collect to submit each week. By the end of the quarter, you will have a nice overview of the essentials of ornithology. You'll hopefully have honed your bird identification skills, and also can add that you understand some of the most commonly used field methods in ornithology. What do you need for this program? You need a pair of binoculars, and you can get reasonably priced good pairs of binoculars at a variety of locations. I recommend binoculars that have a magnification of 8 to 10 and a field of view that's at least 35. Okay, so you'll see that binoculars have a first number and a second number. So my binoculars that I will commonly use are 8 by 42s. I also have 10 by 42s, and the first number is the magnification, the second is the field of view. And you need those numbers to be at the minimum what I mentioned, so that you can really see all the colors and see the bird large enough to identify it. You need, it will be really useful to use the Voice Memos app on your phone to record bird sounds. That's one great way to learn your bird identification. We will also be using a couple of websites, including this one, Zeno Canto. It's kind of like a wiki for bird sounds. People record bird sounds and submit them from all over the world. There are hundreds of thousands of sounds on this site. Here's the sound of a Swainson's thrush, which is our latest arriving migrant here in the Pacific Northwest. So I just played that sound, and I'm outside and I actually heard one respond to the sound. You'll also want a field guide. I recommend a hard copy of a field guide. There are some bird apps that are very useful. Field guides will help you with the taxonomy piece. So part of what we'll be learning when we're honing our bird identification skills is avian taxonomy. And certain field guides, most field guides, are organized in taxonomic order. And so I recommend the Sibley guides. I think they're really useful. The illustrations represent all the types, forms of the birds you're going to likely see, variation between the sexes and differences that you might see with the ages of birds. And the Sibley Guide to Western Birds is a great field guide to have. If you have another field guide that covers birds in Western North America that you'd like to use, that's also fine. Although I do recommend that it be organized by taxonomic order rather than by either the bird size or the bird colors or some other kind of categorization. Okay, that's about all of the information I have to provide. Hopefully that will provide you with some information before registration needs to happen about what this program is going to look like. I do want to show you one sort of interesting piece of gear that we're hoping to be able to check out to you, or we will be able to check out to you to use in your field methods piece of the program. And I'm going to grab it really quickly. It is a small recording device, and these are becoming really commonly used in field ornithology. It's becoming increasingly important that you have documentation of the birds that you're surveying and counting. And so this is what it looks like. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and tell you a little bit about it. Okay, so this is a little tiny field recorder, and you can actually program it to turn on and off at set times of day. Okay, it runs on 3 AA batteries, it has a little microphone on it, and it can record bird sounds. And so we're going to deploy these in the field. I think it's going to be really fun. People can deploy them at their favorite field location, collect data for about a week or so, and then we'll spend some time learning about how you would analyze the kind of data set where you would use these sorts of recorders to collect information. Okay, hopefully that's given you a nice sneak preview to the program, and feel free to contact me. My email is styringa@evergreen.edu.